Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's edition of Talking with Todd. I'm JC Shirley, and joined, as always, by my co-host,
CJ Pierce,
and the 100% complete and total president of Northwest State and Dr. Todd Hernandez. Thanks for joining us again today, boss. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Cool.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've left my house in a couple days. I was wasn't grounded by my parents. That sounds weird. I was grounded as in needed to stay home for a couple days. So it's kind of nice to be a member of society once again. And
I'm glad to hear you're aware and reflective about that, though. It's important.
Yeah.
You gotta reset.
Certainly, it was great. I got to be home and spend some time with my my younger siblings and do an ungodly amount of dishes. So, Hannah, I know you watch these. Pitch in and do some dishes, please. I love you, sis. With that, I'll kind of turn it over to CJ as he sort of steers the direction of our podcast today.
Yeah.
Siege.
So we were talking earlier this week about what we were going to do today on Talking with Todd, and we kind of settled on this. So we're going to talk about Todd today. We haven't really gone in depth into who is Dr. Todd Hernandez quite yet, but we're gonna kind of introduce you guys more in depth to our new president here at Northwest State Community College. So Todd, I know this is the question everybody wants to hear, but what made you you? And could you touch a little bit on like the beginnings and what got you to this point? And we'll ask some questions in the middle here, but could you just start the story and let us know who is Todd?
Yeah, so I've told it a number of times, and this is the toughest podcast because I don't like talking about Todd.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about someone else.
But it's talking with Todd, so kind of stands to reason at some point we should talk about.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Northwest Ohio native. Family migrated here from Texas and Mexico. My parents were part of that. My grandparents graduated Napoleon High School. I was, much like today's youngsters, when my goal was to get out of Northwest Ohio and never come back. I went off, got my undergrad, Navy officer, 8 years. Almost 10 years to the day that I moved away from Napoleon, I moved right back to Napoleon.
What brought you back?
So in the Navy, I lived up and down the East Coast, traveled the world, started having a family, been in many different countries, and I've never once been anywhere where I thought, man, I wish I'd have been born here. And I've never been anywhere else where I thought, you know what, this would be a good place to raise a family as compared to Northwest Ohio. So I wanted to come back.
Cool. What's your favorite place you ever traveled to?
Oh, there's quite a few. South Africa was kind of fun because I got to pet a baby lion. That was
Really?
kind of cool. Yeah. I really enjoy different areas of the United States. Upstate New York's beautiful if you've never been there. San Francisco's a lot of fun. Take a Napa Valley trip if you've never been on one. It's worth it.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
I'm not much of a California person. I'm a small town person, and Cali's a little big for my taste.
Yeah. San Francisco's big.
San Francisco's big. That south of San Francisco, between everything between San Francisco, Sacramento area and LA is like small town wineries and the Napa Valley area and stuff like that.
Since when have you been to California?
I've been to California a couple times. I've done things, John.
And you thought you knew each other.
You don't even know. Dude, I know I've told you this at some point.
So this is really a counseling session.
Yeah.
Viewers, we're sorry. This is not Talking with Todd. This is Todd Helps JC and CJ.
Yes.
It's Dr. Todd, a la Dr. Phil.
But, gosh. Yeah, because I think about that time you joined the Navy, that would have been the Join the Navy, See the World days. Mm-hmm. And so I know I'm sure those were some cool journeys that you went on through that. So yeah, you joined the Navy, you were an officer, you moved back to Northwest Ohio. What's next?
Then I worked at Automatic Feed Company for 11 years. Started as an electrical controls engineer, just moved into a management role, and when I left, I was a vice president for innovation for kind of their software product.
Okay. So what is that? Vice president of innovation. So
I'm sorry, vice president for product development.
Product development. I'm sorry.
There you go.
So but there was some innovation going on with that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was development of an enterprise-wide software SCADA system, which is basically a system that collects information from machine controls and stores it away and then presents it to management in a number of different ways for decision making and just production monitoring, things like that.
That's a lot of, that's cool, but it's a lot of words that I'm not sure I understand. But so after automatic feed, where'd you go after that?
Well, I was here. I've been here since 2010, 11 years. And my route or my kind of responsibilities here changed quite a bit over the years and grew in responsibility.
So where did you start here at
I
Northwest?
was a training coordinator, IT specialist program. Did that for a period of time. Then I was asked to be the CIO, and I love my techies. Enjoyed that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then vice president for innovation here, which
Okay.
was workforce development, and executive vice president and now president.
Really climbed the ladder, didn't you?
It was a different path. Like so private sector, military experience, private sector, now higher education, and I really enjoyed. I always tell people I'm on my third career, probably the last. I really enjoy what I do, the mission to serve. Like that, I came back to Northwest Ohio because I thought it was a great place to live and work, and I want to be part of making it and keeping it a great place to live and work, and I feel I get to do that in this role.
That's really cool. The pill, something you've mentioned ad nauseum, both on our show here and in all of your other
it's
public venues.
I learned this week people are coming up with different words for those acronyms.
Oh, of course they are.
Of course, yeah.
The one I learned this week is, having a rough day, teams like, well, Todd would say the pill. So, well, today the pill means purposely I laugh. They were having a rough day.
Yeah, and that's kind of important.
Yeah.
It was. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say COVID. We're kind of hopefully as we get to what looks to be the end of the pandemic as we've known it for about the last year and some change. You did have to be intentional about choosing joy and choosing to laugh in spite of challenging circumstances. So I guess as we're on the COVID subject, any news from did you guys have your board meeting yet?
So we were looking at having a survey. I did send the survey out, and we had 105 responses. The cabinet and I discussed it yesterday, and we want a little more time to reflect and just kind of look. I've talked to, Henry County Health Department. I've looked at what some of the other county offices are doing. I've talked to 22 other community college presidents, and it's clear that the governor's, he's pulling back on his mandates. He's saying, each organization needs to decide what they're going to do for themselves. And so we're in that decision-making process. I've collected a lot of information from a lot of different people, and we'll be pulling the trigger probably at, today's Thursday. The health order ends next Tuesday, June 2nd. We'll be pulling the trigger here in the next week or so.
When I got news about the health order being rescinded, or whatever the official terminology is for that.
I like official.
I do too.
You just combine those two words and you got it.
There you go. I was sitting in Mike Klink's art class. It was our final critique, and I was on my phone and probably shouldn't have been. He thought I was looking at a picture, and I was on Instagram. Sorry, Klink. But art is real, so it's okay. But I saw that, and in my mind, I thought of June 2nd, and my 8 days of vacation starts June 6th. So I was excited about that. I'm fully vaccinated, have been for a month or so, and it's just really, really exciting to not have to wear a mask in places that don't mandate it. So it's exciting, and I'm really proud of us as a community here at Northwest State for weathering the storm and for getting to the end of this. I think we're almost there, and stay on target. Was that? No, I'm not gonna.
I don't know.
Star Wars nerd about that.
Anyways, so so kind of steering the ship back to where we were to start this conversation. I know COVID's going to be one of those things that pops in the middle for the foreseeable future. Like it's still something we're going to be dealing with, but kind of steering the ship back to where we were at, and to kind of wrap things up here. Who do you think Dr. Todd Hernandez will be in for the rest of his tenure here as president of Northwest State Community College?
Yeah, that's a big question. I'll start by you asked me earlier, where I came from, what makes me up. My undergrad's engineering. I've been kind of working techie, and my master's is IT. My doctorate is IT as well. But what being in the military, what being in the private sector, what being in higher education has done for me is it's given me a diverse background. It's taught me the importance of appreciating kind of all walks of life, and you said art is real, like in all disciplines as well. What the doctorate did for me, and that's not a decision to take lightly. It's not easy. The literature review broke me. That was tough. It brought me down. But what it did is it taught me to appreciate in order to complete that, you need to be able to read critically. You need to be able to write. And I didn't have an appreciation for reading and writing and the arts and the sciences as much as I should have before completing that. So that diverse background has taught me the importance of appreciating everything that we do as a community college, right? We're not just a technical college. We're a community college, and we have bachelor's bound, which is kind of a 2-year transfer focus, and we have associate of arts, we have associate of business and science. So having those opportunities for the community, that vast array of opportunities is very important for a region to be a whole region. And so where I will be in the future, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm going to stay true to who Todd is. I'm here to serve, and we'll see where that goes. But I'm excited about the future. I'm excited where Northwest State's going.
It's gonna be cool, and we're really excited to kind of ride your coattails here a little bit. So
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I really feel like that's a good point to end on. Like Todd is going to be true to himself, and that's something cool to hear from leadership, not only at the institutional level, but the cool thing about Northwest Ohio is you get to be a leader at the community level with your role here at Northwest State.
Yeah.
And so knowing that the leaders here in Northwest Ohio, here at Northwest State, are going to just stay true to who they are. They're not going to be different for anybody else is a beautiful thing to hear. So with that being said, we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, next week's my last week, last week. I'm taking a week off. So
yeah, and then it's
this
just gonna be
one,
me.
then next week, and then you're stuck with
me and Todd.
fuzzing.
So we can have a really nice podcast.
We can
next
have a
week.
really beautiful
Ouch!
podcast.
Ouch!
Yes.
Gee, thanks. All right, and on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Remember, stay excellent to each other.
And party on, my dudes and dudettes.
Peace out.